an initiative that's about 4 years old that helps people to grow their skills, careers, and businesses by offering free digital skills training and tools, usually in collaboration with amazing partners like Nasdaq Entrepreneurial Center. A little bit more about me. I'm coming to you live from my home office all the way in Harlem, New York. And being a Grow at Google trainer is just one of the many hats that I wear. I also own a boutique digital marketing agency. So as you can imagine, I am pretty busy. All right, if you've attended these sessions before, you know that I turn off my camera while presenting so that you guys can get the best viewing experience. And this presentation actually has 2 videos, so I want to make sure that there are no bandwidth issues. So I'll see you in a moment when we do Q&A. Okay, so today we're going to learn how customers can find your business online and what happens when a customer searches for businesses just like yours. Together, we'll explore exactly how search works and the 3 new ways that you can really easily appear in Google's search results. I will also share some additional digital tools to help you to grow your online presence. So of course, I want this session to be as helpful as possible. So like I said, don't be shy, post your questions in the Q&A, and hopefully I can get to all of them before we say adieu today. Now let's get started. Here's my contact information. A lot of people like to take a screenshot. Feel free to do so. And if there's anything that occurs to you after today's session that you'd like to ask me, I would say the 2 paths of least resistance would be directly to my agency email or by connecting with me on LinkedIn. And if you're going to connect with me on LinkedIn, just be sure to say, hey, Petia, I attended your session on August 2nd, and I would like to connect with you. And I did have this one question, by the way. No problems there. Okay, so let's dive in, setting the foundation here. Take a moment and think about how you typically find and connect with businesses that you support, that you buy products from. So just for a quick second, we're taking off our small business owner hat and we're putting on our consumer hats, right? So I'll bet that many, if not most of you, start that process online. And what are we doing when we're starting online? We're comparing prices, reading reviews, and doing other kinds of research. And given what we just went through with COVID-19, we definitely expanded the way that we interact online because many of the small businesses that we have preferred to support in person, we could not. So we did a lot of ordering from restaurants online or possibly purchasing online and picking up at curbside, that sort of thing. So as we know, I don't need to convince you guys, our online habits or behavior have definitely increased over the past 3 years. So putting back on the small business owner hat, what does that mean for your small business? Well, what it means is that your website may be your new front door to your business. The first interaction that a potential customer has with your business, with your brand, or if you're a solopreneur, with you. Your online presence many times may be the only place that your customers are able to connect with you or make a purchase from your business. So it has become so very important to grow your online digital storefront. Now, according to some data that Google sourced from February 2021, searches for local plus businesses, so the search term local businesses, have grown by more than 80% year over year, including searches like local businesses near me and support local businesses. And we can all relate to this, right? Because we really wanted those small businesses in our communities that we love to make it through the pandemic. And we're continuing to see the consumer behavior evolve. According to an Ipsos study commissioned by Google in June of 2020, 61% of US consumers think that buying online and picking up in store or curbside will be a beneficial way for them to shop, even when we no longer have any kinds of restrictions. So today we'll discuss the different ways that you as a small business owner can connect with customers online, especially those looking for businesses exactly like yours. So let's start by watching a short video that explores some of the ways that customers connected with local businesses over the past year and the years prior, and what we may be looking for as we move forward.
Hi, Petia. Real quick before we jump into this.
This past year had many challenges.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing your Zoom toolbar and maybe the live transcriptions button. If you can just
Better?
much better. But for some reason I'm still seeing the Zoom toolbar, but it's not a
Oh, it
huge
usually
distraction.
collapses, but I don't know why it's not. Yeah, that's weird. It usually goes away, but it's not for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I don't
This
think it's
past year had many challenges.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, no. I don't think it's a huge deal unless folks think it's too much of a distraction, but I'm not seeing any complaints in the chat. So all good. Over. Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah, it wants to be part of the presentation.
This past year had many challenges. People have learned new things, like how to make any situation work.
I'm sure you're ready for this.
How to keep going through tough times, and how to stay in touch while far away. Now, the small businesses they love are ready to welcome them back. It's time to find great places to gather and celebrate.
Oh my god.
To refresh and renew. See each other in person again. And explore new connections.
Coffee shops near me.
Now that your doors are reopening,
Hi, good afternoon. How are you? This is the part that you tried to cut? Okay.
people are looking for places in their neighborhoods and communities where they can enjoy special moments together again. They're hoping to discover new favorite spots so they can create new memories with people they love.
How are you? Yeah, nice to finally see you in person.
So when they're searching for you, and you, and you, be there with a little help from Google.
Okay, you guys. So how many of you can relate to even maybe one of those experiences, right? We all went through, what was depicted in that video. And I actually know someone who definitely could have related to the haircut story, trying to cut her own hair. A little bit of a disaster, but hey, that's what we had to do. Now think about your potential customers. What are they looking for? And how are they searching to find the answer? You see, the issue or the challenge usually with small business owners, or all business owners, I should say, is that we make certain assumptions about what our customers are looking for and how they're trying to find the answers they're looking for. Remember, it's not necessarily about you, but about them. How are they searching for you? How are they searching for similar businesses like you? So keeping this in mind, I challenge everyone watching today to examine and possibly reframe your approach to presenting your business online. Rather than focusing on what you want people to know about your products and services, think about what they need, what they want to know, how they are searching for products and services and businesses just like yours. By doing so, you can use Google search as an opportunity to build relationships to your customers and for people who are actively looking for businesses like yours. So it takes a little bit of work, but it's totally possible. All right, so like I said, that was just setting the foundation. Here's the agenda for today's session. I'll start by showing you how Google search works and the 3 ways your information can appear on the search results page. And those 3 ways would be search engine optimization, a business profile, and online advertising. So let's start with how Google search works so you understand the technicalities of how your website can show up in search results. Imagine a library with billions and billions of books, and this library is constantly growing by the second, right? However, there's no card catalog to help you find anything. And to add to that, you're not just searching for one book. What you're looking for is specific information inside the book's pages. That's kind of what the web is like. When you think of it that way, finding what you need seems virtually impossible. However, thank God, that's what search engines like Google are for. When a person searches on Google, they may start off by typing a word or phrase describing what they want to find on the web. And by the way, that's called a search query. Google helps people find information on the web by sorting through billions of web pages and showing people where to find the answers they're looking for. So basically, search is a huge piece of software that takes the query you type into the search box and looks for the best answer across the web. Now, the screenshot we're reviewing together represents an example of a Google search results page, and we're all familiar with this page, right? It's important to note that the content and layout of this page will be different depending on the search as well as the device that you're using. Today's workshop focuses on the 3 typical ways your business can appear in the search results. In the organic results that we see highlighted in the center well of the page, with a business profile that we see highlighted on the right of the page, and of course, with advertising that we see highlighted with the word text ad. And as you are doing your own Google searches, haven't taken this workshop, if you weren't really paying attention before, you will start to recognize how other businesses are appearing in Google search results. And you should be paying attention to how your competitors are showing up, because if they're showing up, at least one of these ways and you're not, then that means that you have some work to do. So of course, this is a lot more complicated than what I just explained, right? There's a lot happening behind the scenes. First, Google makes its own copy of the entire web. Imagine that. Scans it and catalogs all of the content. It's like the index of a book, except if you can imagine 10 trillion times longer. So if a potential customer searches for the phrase yoga pants, Google identifies all the relevant results, then puts them in order of what it thinks are the most useful results. To do this, it considers where the searcher is located, whether the page was updated recently, how many other pages link to that page, whether there are actual pictures of a yoga pants on the page. So for those of you who have websites, remember pictures and video, they help you out a lot. And of course, much, much more. And imagine that all of this is done in less than 1 second, billions of times a day. Now that you understand a little more about the massive scope of the web and how Google works to index all that information, we can move on to talking about how you can get your business to show up when people search for whatever you offer. Now, as mentioned, Google considers many factors when cataloging and ranking pages, and that means the opportunity for you as a small business is that there are a variety of ways that you can help your business to appear on Google and to move up in the search rankings. Now, the first way your business might show up is to appear in what we call the organic or natural results down the center well of the search results page. And this is what we see highlighted here on the slide we're viewing together. Now, Google builds these pages of results for every single search. And again, the goal is to deliver the most relevant results for that particular searcher. For example, the search results might look different for someone searching in Harlem, New York, in Canada, Nashville, Tennessee, or California, right? Makes total sense. So here you can see the website for Trade Street Jam as it appears in Google's organic results. Now, how did Google decide what websites to show and in what order? There are more than 200 signals that Google considers to determine which web pages should appear for which searches. Organic search results are different than paid advertising. So how high your site ranks in organic search is truly a matter of your site being the most useful answer to the query entered by the searcher, right? So again, you have to kind of get into the minds of your customers and figure out how they are searching for products and services that you offer. Now, while you can't just buy a better organic search ranking, so you guys, I know there are a lot of not so credible companies out here that like to charge people and tell them that they can get you on Google's first page for $29. Please ignore them, right? You cannot buy a better organic search ranking, but you can put effort into optimizing your website to improve its visibility on Google and other search engines for that matter. And that is what's called search engine optimization, or SEO. Now, of course, I can do an entire workshop on SEO, but here's a really quick overview. SEO refers to the techniques that improve your website rank in Google search results and attract higher quantity and quality website visits to grow your online presence. Now, SEO is important when it comes to managing a website for your product, service, or brand, because when consumers use search engines, they're typically looking for a very specific product or service or solution. Now, sometimes they want to be entertained, sometimes they want to be educated, or sometimes they're just looking for reassurance. Regardless, when a search is done, and again, think of how you use, the internet or Google, there is usually a specific need or want that your website may be able to fulfill. So ranking in search results for particular keywords, topics, and phrases can help you connect with your ideal customer. Now, people who are just getting started with SEO have a tendency to think that it's very complicated. And the truth is that it can become complicated, but there are plenty of non-technical things that you can do on your own to help your pages show up in search. The first thing you can do is focus on the quality of your content. Try to regularly publish relevant, original content, and it should be useful and accurate. And while there's no rule of thumb, the more frequently you update your website, the more likely it is to appear in search engine results. Now, when you're writing content, include keywords that potential customers would use to find your pages. Remember, it's about them and how they search. Try to organize your website logically into clear labeled ideas. And ideally, visitors should be led from one page to the next until they find what they're looking for. Having a well-organized website also helps Google to understand the content of your site. So you have to take into consideration, right, the machine as well as human visitors. Now, every web page should include a title and a description as part of the code. And if your website has been built using a content management system like WordPress or Wix, they usually offer the option to enter this text. If you have the option, make sure that all of these title elements are descriptive, specific, and accurate. So each page should have its own unique description that explains exactly what that specific page is about. Now, if you're stuck on relevant, timely content, the good news is that there's a free tool that can assist you. Google Trends. So some of you may be familiar with Google Trends, but for those of you who are not, Google Trends can help you research content strategies and refine your marketing messages for your website. It shows the relative popularity of different keywords searched on Google over time. So this is how you get insight into how your potential customers are used in Google to find products and services that you may offer. The data is presented in a graph on a scale of 0 to 100, with 100 representing the peak search volume. Now, if it has enough data, Trends can show a forecast of search volume, related popular searches, and rising searches. So your rising searches would be the searches that, for whatever reason, are experiencing significant growth. Now, you can use the tool to compare the popularity of different words and phrases, determine seasonality of different searches, see where your searches are happening geographically, as well as get some insight into related searches. So here's an example of a real business, and the name of the business is Tea Drops, and you can check out their website at myteadrop.com. Now, they used Google Trends to help them to figure out how customers that may be looking for what they sell, which one of the popular products is bubble tea, how they were actually using Google to find similar businesses like theirs. So this is what they learned. When they did the research, they learned that on the West Coast, more people search for the word bubba BOBA. And on the East Coast, more people search for bubble tea. That insight, that level of insight is amazing, right? So that information can be incredibly useful when developing a content strategy for your website and your advertising. For more insights like this, please check out the tool by visiting g.co/trends. And so this is a great mini exercise that I encourage everyone to do when you get a copy of the presentation, and test this out and apply it, right, to the way that you come up with your content strategy. If you would like to do it live with me, go ahead. A lot of people do this and then they ask questions when we come to Q&A. So let's do this. You can open a separate window, right, and go access Google Trends by going to g.co/trends and enter the keywords or phrases that you would like to compare. And of course, this should relate to your business, because if you have questions, then I'd be better able to help you. Now, narrow down the results by location. Adjust the date ranges to see how or if the results appear different. And when you have more time, explore related searches for more ideas, right? So it's always interesting, and you guys, please don't be shy, for the people who do this live, for them to realize that sometimes the keywords that they assumed should be the keywords that they're using on their websites, actually, especially by geography, they're totally off mark, and that definitely impacts the amount of traffic that goes to their website, and ultimately business that can be closed. Okay, let's go over a few more technical things that can affect SEO. First, please make sure that your website loads quickly. I'm talking within 5 seconds, especially for people viewing your site on mobile devices. A slow site will encourage visitors to do what? Leave, and we can all relate to this. You don't have much time. And it also affects your search rankings. Secondly, be sure that your website is easy to read, no matter how visitors get there, especially if they're viewing the website on a smaller screen. Thankfully, many websites are built with a responsive design that adapts to the type of device being used. Now, there are 2 additional Google resources that can help you to make sure that your site is up to par. And they are Google's Test My Site tool and Google Search Console. So you can check the speed of your website by trying Google's free Test My Site tool, and you can get to the tool by going to g.co/testmysite. The test score measures mobile speed, or how long it takes the site to load on a phone. Now, keep in mind that it's not just the strength of the web connection that determines mobile speed, but also the elements on the web pages. After evaluating your site, the test generates a report with specific suggestions that can help you to optimize if the site is not performing up to par. And again, you can do this for free by going to g.co/testmysite. And remember, it measures load time on mobile devices on a phone. Next up, there's Google Search Console. This tool used to be called Google Webmaster Tools. So if you've been using Google Tools for a while, it's the same thing. Search Console is important for search engine optimization because it helps you measure your site's search traffic, performance, fix issues, and improve the way the site shows up in Google search results. Now, Search Console is typically used by SEO specialists or marketers to monitor website traffic, optimize the site's ranking in Google search results, and make informed decisions about the appearance of your website in those results. Now, the information in Search Console can be used to influence technical decisions for the site and to do sophisticated marketing analysis. So chances are, if you have a webmaster and they're making recommendations about what you should change on the site, they are taking these recommendations based on what Google Search Console is telling them. So usually business owners themselves don't really use this tool, but I think just for your information, right? If you do have a webmaster and you're not sure if they're using Search Console, I think it makes sense for you to understand why the tool exists, and you can then go back and ask them if they are in fact using Search Console to help to manage your site and make decisions. And you can access the tool by going to g.co/search console. So now that we've discussed the basics of search engine optimization, let's take a step back and see if your website appears on the first page of Google's results. And you can definitely do this with me and let me know what happened when we get to Q&A. So open a separate tab and go to google.com. Now think of a word or phrase related to your business. It could be the name of your business, the product name, or the type of service that you offer. Do a simple search for that word or phrase in Google and look at the results. Does your website show up? If you're not on the first page, you can click next at the bottom of the page to see more results. Now, as consumers, we all know that most of us do not go past maximum the third page, right? So you would want to make sure that, based on search terms, that you're at least showing up in the first 3 pages. And it does take a lot of work and effort to achieve this. Now, if your site does show up, great. But how does it look in the results? Do you like the text being displayed? Is it accurate and compelling? And when you click on it, does it take you to the appropriate page on your site? These are all great things to check, and you can do it in collaboration with your webmaster, by the way. Now, if your website does not appear in the results, make a note about the sites that are showing up, and especially if they're your competitors, right? This is great information to have because these are your peers competing to appear above you in search. Doing searches like this periodically can help you figure out what is and isn't working on your site when it comes to organic search. And you can start implementing some or all of the tips from this section of the workshop to help you to improve your website's chances of appearing in organic search results. So have some work to do, I'm sure. In the meantime, let's move on to the next thing you can do to have your business appear on Google. So the second way your business can show up in the search results is by creating or claiming your free business profile on Google Search and Maps. Now, when we did that search in the last section, we were concentrating on organic search. Now let's talk about how you can appear on that right section that's highlighted here. And do a little test. Search for a business that has a brick and mortar location in your neighborhood or maybe a competitor, and see if in fact they are utilizing a business profile to come up in search. Now, you can create a free business profile by visiting google.com/business. A business profile helps local businesses be found and manage critical information on Google Search and Maps. Think of your business profile as a sort of digital front window for your business that allows you to showcase valuable current information that will help customers plan their visit to your location, such as the first thing people want to know when you're open. Once you create and claim your business profile, and this is called verification, you can manage how your information appears across Google Search and Maps. Within the dashboard, you can update your address, phone number, website, hours of operation, in addition to answering reviews and more to help customers find and connect with your business. There's also a messaging functionality that is great. Now, this is the thing. This is the rule, and some people don't like it. A business profile can only be created for businesses that either have a physical location customers can visit or travel to visit customers where they are or work within a specific service area. The general rule is that a business must make in-person contact with customers during its stated hours. And of course, we all know that with the pandemic, this was not possible. However, the rule still stands. Pandemic aside, if when your business is open and operating, you must at some point be making in-person contact with your customers. So you can make the most of your business profile by including as much information as you can. When you access your account, you can also make updates related to COVID-19, like things like, let's say, changes in service, hours of operation, or a specific COVID-19 post. And of course, this is a new functionality that was rolled out in response to the pandemic. Always remember, as a general rule, however, to regularly update your business profile with photos and videos. And you can share things like your storefront, interior, or whatever best showcases what you have to offer. Now, depending on the category of business you have, you may see additional features in your account like booking, products, and services. So if you have, as these different categories are revealed to you, I always recommend that when people are setting up these profiles or anything for the first time for that matter, make sure that you have the time to actually sit down and go through the steps and fill out everything that you should be filling out so that these tools can actually work the way that they are intended to work. You can also use your business profile to engage with customers. Start with posts. Posts allow merchants to share live updates directly on their business profile. You can share exciting information and updates, announcements, encourage reservations, promote a newsletter, and of course, entice people to buy your products. Next, are online reviews. Once your business profile is verified, you have the option to read and respond to reviews. And, business owners often ask for advice about negative reviews, usually how they can get rid of them, right? Unfortunately, unless there's a content policy that's being violated, Google will not remove a review. As a best practice, what we recommend is that you respond and try to take the conversation offline. Now, some responses might explain a company policy to kind of alleviate a misunderstanding. And of course, for the positive feedback, be sure to thank your happy customers. The timeliness and professionalism of responses demonstrates that the business listens to customer feedback and can positively influence potential customers. Another feature to try is messages. The message feature allows you to chat directly with customers who find your business profile. Responding to customers can help you answer their questions, tell your business's story, and attract more people to your location. Now, a word of caution. When you turn on the messaging feature, you have about 24 hours to respond to these messages. If Google recognizes that you're not responding to these messages in a timely fashion within 24 hours, then they can decide to deactivate the messaging feature from your profile, because after all, the intention here is to supply timely responses to people who are actively inquiring about your business. Okay, so if you have not created a business profile and your business fits the guidelines of a business that qualifies, in order to do so, you would go to google.com/business and claim or complete your business profile. Okay, so let me back up a bit. You may be saying, well, if I never set up a business profile, why would I be claiming one? And this is what happened. Remember the old school yellow directory of businesses, right? Way back when. So what Google did initially, they did a giant upload from Yellow Pages and such directories. And so if your business has been around for quite some time, you could have a business profile listing that is live, but probably very outdated. And so what you should do is you should just do a search for your business's name and make sure that there isn't an outdated profile that already exists. Many people are shocked to find that there is a profile, except they haven't been in that location for 5 to 10 years. If that's what's going on here, you can then claim that profile as opposed to creating a new one. And you usually see a little button on the profile that says, own this business, claim it, okay? And so kind of like fast tracks the whole setting up situation. Once you claim the profile, they usually ask you, some documentation and other questions to make sure that you're in fact the owner of the business. And then you are given access to then update the profile. So that is why, even if you aren't aware of creating a business profile, in some cases, if a business has been around for a while, there is a profile that exists. It's just outdated. Now, if you're starting from scratch, you will go through the motions of setting up your account. And then what happens next is that you request a postcard. Once you get that postcard, it usually arrives within 5 days. You then sign back into your new profile and enter the verification code, and you are then able to manage your profile in all the ways that I described in the prior slide. Okay, so now that we've covered search engine optimization and your business profile, we'll talk about the third way that you can reach customers online with Google, and that would be via online advertising. So to set the stage, let's start by watching this video about Trade Street Jam, a small business that uses Google Ads to grow and thrive.
Everybody likes jam. Who doesn't like jam? Seriously, I dream about flavors. Trade Street Jam Company makes low-sugar vegan jams for pretty much everything under the sun. Honey, do you know how many things you can do with this jam? You can make cocktails, you can put on roasted meats or veggies, oatmeal. The uses are endless. I've been a chef for about 15 years. I needed something fun to do after work. I'm not a big TV watcher. I would stop at this store on the way home, grab a bunch of fruit, anything weird and exotic that they had, and I start cooking. I start jamming. Too much? You don't like the puns?
Do you like the bananas, honey? Yeah.
My husband is my test dummy, I guess you can say.
You want some more?
You like mommy's cooking?
When I started Trade Street, I was selling on another e-commerce platform, and we were also selling a lot of jam in person. But COVID hit and all the markets shut down, which freaked me out. I'm already scared about being a new mommy. And then on top of that, I'm worried about the life of my business. People started ordering specialty food online, so we immediately had to pivot and focus all of my efforts on selling online. When people go on Google and they search jam or jelly, I want them to be able to find my brand. With Google Ads, they can type those things in and I pop up. You guys, that's huge. Being able to sell on our website, it really did save us. I couldn't imagine going back to not using Google products. We went from making 2,000 jars every 2 months to making 2,000 jars every 2 weeks. Our sales increased by 1,000%. It was crazy. I've hired 4 or 5 different contractors. Hiring feels amazing. I think it's so important for our product to have a story behind it. I think when people see a woman behind the brand, a person of color, it just really adds something to that jar other than jam.
Oh, you kiss mommy? You kissing mommy?
I want Zola to be able to grow up and look at me and say, my mom did that. I wouldn't trade that for the world.
Okay, great. I love that story. And I highly encourage businesses. I highly encourage everyone on today's session to look up these small businesses that are used in this presentation. They are actual small businesses just like you who have taken the time to learn how to use all of Google's digital tools or the specific digital tools that are highlighted and are enjoying the benefits, right? So this is not some, multinational corporation that's spending, $10,000 a month on Google Ads. This is a small, you see, she's a mom, right? A young mom who, is working really hard at making her business successful. So, one of the things I really appreciate and like about being a part of this program and delivering these presentations is that all of the content is relatable and you guys can all do it. So just a little word of encouragement here. Get the deck, go find these businesses and you'll see these are small business owners just like you. Okay, so getting into the nitty-gritty of how this Google advertising actually works. Advertising on Google is called pay-per-click advertising. In other words, you only pay when people take an action like clicking on your ad or calling your business. So you are paying for engaged customers. Now, these ads reach people who are actively searching for your products and services. And of course, this is a great opportunity for you to connect with these people as they're doing their research. Now, your ads can also appear on websites that are a part of Google's display network, which includes millions of partner sites. Now, these ads can reach people earlier in the buying cycle, not just when they're searching for things related to your business, but also when they're doing things like browsing related content, say, for example, like watching a video on YouTube. Depending on the goals you set, the Google Ads system will automatically determine where to show your ads to give you the best chance for success. So in this next section, this is the final section of the presentation, we're going to focus on smart campaigns within Google Ads. Now, this is a type of campaign that's specifically designed for small businesses and new advertisers. So don't worry about it. It is really, really simple. Smart campaigns are flexible. So you choose your goal and you customize your content. And yes, you're able to do this with any kind of budget. And there are no contract or fees to get started. Ultimately, you can control when and where ads show, as well as how much money that you spend. And your ads can do whatever you want them to do. They can bring visitors to your site, they can drive phone calls, and they can also encourage in-store visits. Smart campaigns can be set up in just a few steps, and I'm going to walk you through those steps today. To get started with Google Ads, you need to visit ads.google.com and begin by signing into your Google's ad account, of course, if you have one. If you do not have an account, you can create an account by going to the same URL, ads.google.com, and simply clicking Start Now. Now, here's a great checklist that can help you launch a successful smart campaign. The first thing, as with all things marketing, is to decide what the goal is for your campaign. Now, you might have multiple goals, and if that's the case, then you need to set up multiple campaigns. So the first question to ask yourself is, why am I even advertising? What do I want to get out of this campaign? What do I want to achieve? That's the first thing you need to write down. Make a little note to yourself. Is it website visits? Is it phone calls? Is it in-store visits? First decision that needs to be made here. Next, you would add information about your business so that customers can recognize you when they see your ad. Next decision, you need to identify where you want a visitor to land on your site after they've clicked your ad. Then you need to write an ad that encourages people to take action. You will need to choose keyword themes and locations where you want your ads to appear. And in case you're wondering what keyword themes are words or phrases that help you match your ads with Google searches. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Then, of course, you need to set your daily budget. Remember, you are only going to pay when someone interacts with your ad. Now, once you have all of these pieces together, you are ready to launch. But let's walk through this process step by step together. Like I said, with smart campaigns, you start with a goal. The goal represents the main activity that you want potential customers to do after they see your ad. Again, quite normal to have multiple goals, and if that's the case, that just means that you will need to create multiple campaigns to help you to achieve those goals. So for the sake of simplicity today, we're going to focus on one goal. And as you can see here, the options are getting more calls, getting website signups for sales, or getting more people to visit your physical location. Now, when setting up a new smart campaign, you have the option to link to your business profile, which we went over earlier in this presentation. That was the second way that you can surface on Google, right? If you select that option, you can choose whether to send ad clicks to your website or to your business profile on Google. Now, when you link your business profile in smart campaigns, your ads show your business address and link to that business profile. Of course, you can turn this off if it's not the right choice for your business. And quite honestly, most people, especially if they're hoping for sales, send the ad clicks to their website. So in this case, we're going to select no, don't use this information, and we will keep going. Next, you will enter your business name as you want it to appear on the ad. Next step is to enter your website address. And this is where you want people to land after they click your ad. Now, here's a pro tip. Rarely entering your homepage or your About Us page, rarely, very rarely, is that the best choice, right? When you're setting up these ads. As a digital marketer myself, I usually prefer to send ad traffic to a unique landing page where the only option someone has is to complete the desired goal, right? Sometimes even sending them to a specific page on your website, they get distracted, they start clicking around, and they kind of like forget why they went there to begin with. So the path of least resistance is what I do for my clients, is what I recommend, is to set up a specific landing page where all they can do is complete the desired option. So if you're asking them to sign up for the newsletter, send them to a landing page where that's all they can do. If you're asking them to sign up for samples for a product, send them to a landing page where that's all they can do, right? It just kind of helps for you and for that person to be very focused in terms of achieving the goal of your campaign. As you remember, the first thing that we need to do is to decide what the goal of these campaigns are. And so, like I said, the less that these people have to navigate around different sites and pages, right, the better it will be for you. So just remember that. A lot of people sometimes, unfortunately waste their ad spend by just sending the intended people or the target audience for their ads to their main homepage. Okay. So as you build the ad, the system will show you where the ad clicks lead to so that you can preview exactly what people will see when they get there. You'll see what they would see if they're on a mobile device, as well as on a laptop or desktop. Now, this is an amazing way to preview what a customer's first impression of your business will look like. Now, remember that the ad will get them to the website as long as they click, but your website also needs to be set up in a way to close the sale. So that's why getting your website in order is really the first thing that you should do before you even decide to spend ad dollars. Now, the next step is to write your ad. Before you write, think about these 3 questions. What do I have to offer? And write the ad in a way that it focuses on customer benefits. Next question, what do I want to accomplish? Here is where you're thinking about your call to action. You have to encourage your potential customers to take the next step. Then who are my customers? Who are these people that I'm trying to attract? Try to write genuine, compelling ads that will have a connection to your audience. Now you have 3 headlines, 30 characters max, 2 description lines, 90 characters each, and an optional call button to allow people to click to call you directly if they need to. Your headlines are the first thing that people see and will play a big factor into how well your ads perform. Now, one headline could be your company name, and other headlines might highlight the product or service you're promoting. So in this ad, we can see the second headline. The first headline is the name of the company, and the second headline is advertising the handcrafted vegan jam. Now, once you've written your ad, it's time for you to choose those keyword themes. Keyword themes are words or phrases that help match your ads with Google searches. A single keyword theme represents multiple similar words and phrases. For instance, the keyword theme jam makes your ad eligible to show when people search for fruit jam, vegan jelly, and buy jam. After your ad is active, you can review your campaign search terms and turn off any that are not quite the right fit for your business, right? So pretending that you work for Trade Street Jam, if you're selling artisan jam, you would have to think about the words and phrases that your potential customers might be searching for. And of course, once the ad is active, you can always review the campaign search terms and make appropriate decisions as to whether to add additional ones or remove any that may not make sense. Next, you'll choose where your ads will appear. You can set a radius around an address or even pick specific zip codes, cities, or regions. So for example, if your products are only available in your brick and mortar store, only makes sense to advertise within a certain radius that you know people are willing to travel. But if you ship your products, you can choose to advertise in the specific zip codes or regions or cities that your current customers exist in. So if you know you're shipping to XYZ zip code, then by all means, make sure that your ad is reaching people in those zip codes as well. Remember to choose your location settings carefully. choosing only locations where you can do business or you are actively doing business. With smart campaigns, you set a maximum monthly budget. You'll be presented with a few options, or you can create your own. Now, you do this by setting an average daily budget that is multiplied by 30.4, which is the average number of days in the month, to come up with the maximum budget. Now, the average daily budget is the amount you could spend each day, but the actual amount will vary depending on how popular the ad is on a specific day. Now, the most important point here is that you will never spend more than the total amount that you have determined by setting your daily budget. And remember, the monthly budget, we come up with the monthly budget by multiplying whatever that daily budget is by 30.4. Before setting your campaign live, you'll have the chance to review it. Remember to take your time, maybe step away for a second and come back, make any necessary changes you may want to make, and then launch. Good news, once your campaign is running, you can continually review its performance and make adjustments. We recommend that you create different versions of your ads to see which ones are getting you your best results. Now, more ads can lead up to 15% better performance without increasing your budget. Add negative keyword themes. So these would be the themes that you want to exclude. For example, if you sell gourmet jam, you might not want your ad to show up for people searching for recipes. This helps you focus your ad budget on ad clicks that are more likely to convert. Now, you can also get more specific about when you want your ads to appear, weekdays or business hours only, that makes sense. And you can also connect your ad campaigns to Google Analytics, and hopefully you guys all have Google Analytics installed in your website so that you can get some insight into what people are doing after they click on the ad. Like, are they looking at different pages? Are they downloading additional things, right? Sometimes the intended goal is not all that people do, and having that insight is great for you as a business owner. Okay, so we have covered a lot in this short time today. So at this point in time, if you've attended these sessions before, you know that we do a quick recap, and I also offer a few final resources that you can access on your own time. Today, we looked at 3 ways you can appear on Google: in the organic results, with a business profile, and of course, through Google Ads. Here are some recommended next steps for you. First, build or improve your website to make it search and mobile friendly, and try using the tools we mentioned in today's workshop, which were Google Trends, Test My Site, and Google Search Console to help you make more informed decisions. Next, create or claim your free business profile, and when you're ready, try Google Ads. Remember that you can always fine-tune your offers when people are searching for your products and services. If you want to learn more about any of the topics covered in today's workshop, when you get a copy of this presentation, you could speed through to slide 46, and here you can access the mini websites that give you more in-depth information about everything that we covered in today's session. Grow your digital skills no matter where you're located. Through online workshops and virtual one-on-one coaching sessions, you can get the additional help you're looking for. You would need to register for these virtual workshops by going to g.co/growonair. All right, and finally, if you want to sharpen your business and marketing skills, check out Primer. This is a free app you can download to your phone, available for both Android and Apple devices. And here you can find some short lessons, about 5 minutes each, that can help you to improve your overall business and marketing skill initiative. And to find out more about the program, you can visit google.com/grow. So a little mini challenge for you before we move on to Q&A, and we'll have about 2 minutes for that. Think about everything we covered today. Think about what are the quick and easy wins that you can do immediately after this workshop to improve your online presence. And you guys, it could be as simple as checking your website speed, or using Google Trends or Search Console to figure out exactly how you should be positioning the content on your website. All right, so that is the official end of the workshop. I am gonna stop sharing and turn my camera on so we can do some speed Q&A.
Awesome. Yes, we will do lightning round Q&A. And thank you so much, Petia, for this. It's always great to learn from you and all the great things that I had no idea about Google. So a couple questions around the postcard. They verified their business online, but did not receive a postcard. How should they proceed?
You can have the opportunity to request a new one. What happens is that I don't know who checks your mail, but many times because the postcard, it's a postcard, and if you're not the only one checking your mail, people throw it out because they think it's junk mail. So if it's been a while, honestly, it takes about 5 days. If it's been a long time past 5 days, you should just go ahead and request a new one.
Awesome. Let's see another one. Do you have any suggestions for creating ads? Actually, we may not have time for all these, but Petia, what's the best way to reach out to you if we have any problems?
Sure. So when you guys get a copy of the slide, you'll have my email address or LinkedIn, Petia Abdur-Razzaaq. I think I'm the only one. I pop right up. And just remember that when you connect with me, just make a note and say, hey, Petia, I attended your Google workshop on August 2nd. That will grab my attention because, as you can imagine, a lot of people are trying to connect.
Of course. Yeah, just shout out the Nasdaq Center and learning from you on our platform. Well, thank you again, Petia, for sharing your wisdom and expertise with everyone. And for those of you still in attendance, we hope you enjoyed this. We're going to have Petia back because she's a rock star at Grow with Google. And if you do want to contact her, we'll follow up with the slides and more information. If you would be so gracious to give us feedback on this, we're going to share a link for the survey. Also, check out our upcoming events. We've got a lot of great ones. But Petia, thank you so much. And for everyone still on, we'll hope to see you online soon.
Welcome. Looking forward to the next one.
All righty. Thanks again. And everyone have a great afternoon or evening.